I started in this craft when I was a kid, about 13 years old. I grabbed a galvanized steel bucket and some Kingsford charcoal and a hairdryer and made a forge and just started banging on metal. Ruined a bunch of really good steel. So back in the day, I was the only blacksmith I knew. I didn't really have any kind of like hero to look up to or anything. There were a couple of books that I would check out of the library and learn a little bit from, but yeah, I mean, I was just all by myself for a long time. You know, I still had my anvil from when I was a little kid. I bought an anvil at a yard sale for $100 when I was like 13 or 14, and I've been carrying that anvil around with me the whole time. As time went on, I spent a little bit more time with the forge. I built this horrendous forge, propane forge, and eventually I got, you know, to the point where I was doing blacksmithing like 2-3 times a week. Got an email from a friend of mine that Forge and Fire was casting for the next season. I had watched all of season 1 and was all jazzed about it, and so I applied. I ended up getting on the show, which was, to me, was mind-blowing. Like that I was gonna be on a TV show. It was ridiculous. Ended up winning that show, and that was amazing. I never would have thought in a million years that an amateur knife maker, that this engineer, would be able to win a show like that. Good couple months later, they called me back to be on a Champion of Champions episode. Went on that with 3 other amazing bladesmiths, and I ended up winning that one too. And that was just mind-blowing. Like, I couldn't imagine that I was going to beat these full-time bladesmiths at knife making. Each time I won $10,000, so I turned that straight back into the business, bought a power hammer, bought a bunch of tools, and then it became much, much more of a hobby. I was making some decent money at it, and it was fun, but, you know, always kept the day job, and it was a great synergy for a while. And then Forge and Fire just said, hey, do you want to be a full-time judge? And I thought about it for a hot second, and I was like, yes, I do. I'm going to quit my job in California. I'm going to move to the East Coast, and now I get to be a judge on the show, which is just amazing. And then when I'm not doing that, I can come back here to the warehouse and fill orders and make knives. I mean, I wake up every morning grinning. I couldn't have imagined this as being a future, you know. Where I am now in my art, it's come from a long time of playing, and it's come from a lot of different sources that have all come together, which is fun. Like I do a lot of jewelry work, I do a lot of woodworking, and obviously knife making, blacksmithing, but all of those things, like, they come together in knife making. I can do engraving, I've inlaid gold in swords, you know. I mean, it's been things that have come from all sorts of different sources and come together. You know, there's no substitute for experience, and it really is an interesting journey that I've gone through to get to where I am today. And the new community that's evolved from things like the show, the Forge and Fire, is amazing. I mean, there are people competing on Forge and Fire as really good knife makers now that only started making knives because they watched the show. So like, they watched season 1 and 2, they're on season 4, and it's phenomenal. It's just, I never would have been able to predict this renaissance of this art. It's just really, really cool. I learn every day. I learn from these guys. I mean, they solve a problem in a way I never would have thought of. And some of the artistry of what they do, how they construct their knives, I'm just blown away by it, and it really has affected me, and the skill that I've gained just by watching has been really helpful. And it's just been a phenomenal. It's a dream come true. A dream I didn't even realize I was dreaming. You know, it's like better than I could have imagined my life being right now.